Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Stephen Wadsack, Director of Athletic Bands, Professor of Trumpet and Instrumental Music at Wilmington College. Hope you're doing well. In this video, I'll be performing all of the trumpet parts for this year's 2020 Clinton Massey Marching Band show. You'll be able to listen to each of the individual parts on its own, as well as all the parts put together for each movement of the show. I've also included some practice strategies for you to use while you're preparing the music from home. If you have any questions at all, you can reach me at the email address listed below, and I'd be happy to help you. Looking forward to seeing your performance this fall. So one of the strategies that I wanted to share with you all is slow practice. I'm sure this is something that you've heard about before in band class, but sometimes it's a little bit too easy to get overwhelmed and feel like we're not making enough progress fast enough. The funny thing about that is research has shown we actually absorb and retain information better when we learn it slowly, and that's what we're going to focus on with this strategy. I've chosen a selection from the first movement, measures 36 through 43, and I'm just going to take us through the first trumpet part and show you how I would break this down and learn the part slowly, which is exactly what I did when I was recording these parts for the video. Now, when we look at the part and listen to the recording at full tempo, it can seem a little bit intimidating, which is why we're going to start by slowing it down. We're also going to focus on efforts on one aspect of the music at a time, so to start with, we're just going to be working on the rhythm. I highly recommend doing this with a metronome if at all possible. It'll make things a lot easier and you'll get work done a lot faster. Under closer inspection, the rhythm here is actually a fairly common 3/2 pattern. I can make it a lot easier on myself and easier to count by subdividing eighth notes through this passage. I'm going to turn my metronome on, subdividing eighth notes, and I'm going to clap the rhythm. I use an app on my phone called Tonal Energy, but you can use any metronome app that you like. If you don't have access to a metronome that subdivides, you can also just double the tempo in the metronome and that will get the same effect. I started at a tempo of quarter note equals 132, but you can use this same process at any tempo. Before I move on and try anything else, I'm also going to make sure that I can do this at least 5 to 10 times without making a mistake. This lets me know that I really understand the rhythm and that I'm not going to mess up when I'm under more pressure later. If you try this exercise and you discover that you're having some trouble, I would recommend trying to count how many eighth notes can fit into each larger note value in the section. So for example, looking at measure 36, the two dotted quarter notes can each fit 3 eighth notes inside of them. So if you're listening to the metronome, you should clap a new note after every 3 clicks that you hear because the metronome is subdividing eighth notes. If we do the same thing in measure 37, we know that 2 eighth notes can fit into each of those quarter notes. So I'm going to allow 2 clicks for each note in that measure. It may feel kind of tedious at first, but pretty soon you'll be breezing through this in no time. Once I can confidently clap or speak the rhythm in time, then I'm going to actually pick up my instrument and add the notes to the equation. If trying to play the whole section is too much at first, then I can break it up into even smaller chunks, possibly just trying to play 2 measures at a time. You might be thinking, learning music this way is going to take me forever, but actually, if you only spent about 5 minutes learning each 4-measure chunk, you could have this whole first movement learned in about 30 minutes. That gives you lots of extra time to focus on other details, such as better articulation, strong dynamics, and character. Here's an example of me playing the entire section that we were just working on after using the practice strategies in this video for a few minutes. I hope this helps you as you prepare your music for this year's marching band show. Have fun!